Hello, cyclocross friends, and thanks for tuning in to Maxxis Cyclocross Television. On this episode, we are looking at the women's UCI C1 race that took place in Iowa City, Iowa on September 30th, 2018. Taking place after a Friday night C2 and a Saturday World Cup, the Jingle Cross C1 race is always a peculiar one, with varied field sizes and bleary-eyed spectators. Notable racers taking the start are Katarina Nash in the blue and red Cliff Pro team kit, Ellen Noble and Evie Richards in Trek Factory Racing blue, Katie Compton in the Stars and Stripes, and Cannondale Cyclocross World's Katie Keogh in green. At the start, Evie Richards leads the charge through the mud bog created by the power washers in the adjacent pit. The field stays upright but starts to string out as they make the turn towards the long off-camber run. Richards continues to lead with Nash and Magli Rochette in white and black in third. Natalie Redmond and Compton are the chasers. At the planks, the leaders are through with Richards holding on to the lead. Redmond and Compton are right there with a third group led by Noble and Keogh not far off the pace. Off the flyover and heading towards the Mount Crumpet run-up, Richards is passed by Rochette and Nash. Rochette leads her former teammate as Noble starts to close in on her teammate, Richards. Keogh, who won the World Cup race the day before, is in pursuit. At the sand, Rochette and Nash have gapped Richards. The sand at Jingle Cross in the past has been really difficult and left many running. With the constant rain this year, it's hard-packed and easy to ride. Behind the barns, we get a good look at the gap between the leading pair and Richards. Much farther back, Compton is struggling. Issues with allergies and sickness have plagued her season. Unfortunately, in this race, she had to call it a day as she rides through the pits and retires. Here's our first look at the long Maxxis tires off-camber that was unrideable after so much rain and 3 days of pro and amateur fields tearing it up. Nash has moved in front of Rochette and is setting a fast pace off the bike. The conditions on the day meant many bike changes and most took place on pit 1. As we see Nash exchange bikes, Rochette is able to regain the lead. Richards and Noble also exchanged bikes.
And it's heard from her. They're getting a little worried.
Keogh remains in 5th place. Back at the sand, and Nash is itching to get around. Richards, who finished second 24 hours ago in the World Cup race, is losing more ground as Noble and Keogh start to reel her in. At the planks, Nash remains glued to Rochette's back wheel. In third, Richards has the old guard swooning with her step-through technique. Noble and Keogh remain in 4th and 5th. We're at the long off camber and Rochette and Nash are still locked together. Check out the fast bike changes for both. No time gained or lost. Swinging back to before the pits, and Noble has passed Richards and moved into 3rd. Richards and Keogh also take bikes as Keogh starts to close the gap to 4th. A half lap later, and Nash has distanced herself from Rochette. Noble maintains 3rd. Keogh has now moved into 4th with Richards in 5th. On the off camber, we can pull back to see the gap that Nash has established over Rochette. The gap increases a bit more as Nash keeps her bike while Rochette gets a new one. With Nash opening it up over Rochette, the race that's getting interesting is the one for 3rd. Noble still has the lead, but Keogh is closing the gap and it's only about 7 seconds. By not taking a bike, Keogh has shaved 2 more seconds off that deficit. The only riders close to Nash are the ones she's lapping as her lead over Rochette continues to grow. Meanwhile, Keogh has found Noble's wheel and the race for the final podium spot is on. At the planks, we get a great look at an instance when not dismounting gives Noble the advantage. She's able to ramp up the speed after the obstacle and get a small gap. With Nash safely in 1st, we stick with the battle for 3rd, where Keogh has now gone in front of Noble. Noble looks comfortable sitting on Keogh's wheel as the race is in its final laps. One last look at Nash and a gap check to Rochette shows this one may be over. And on the back of the course, Noble has gone ahead of Keogh and established a decent gap as she heads for the finish. And finishing off the Jingle Cross Festival for 2018 is Katarina Nash with the win. Rochette takes 2nd place for her 10-speed Hero Specialized Cliff team, and Ellen Noble grabs the last podium spot. hit me.
It was fun today. Yeah, no, I had a good smooth race. It was a whole bunch of running, and I don't know. It was definitely cyclocross weekend. You know, there was mud, there was just sliding around the corners, a little bit of running, and yeah, that's why I got into the sport in the first place. So get dirty, get muddy.
Is it still fun going back and forth between mountain and cyclocross? Does it keep it? I mean, you've been doing this so long.
No, I rode my mountain bike on Wednesday morning, and I was so excited. You know, each bike has its own charm, and I don't know, I like to change it up. I get bored if I do the same things.
You're not getting bored. What is it that keeps you competitive out there racing? Is it just the racing itself?
Yeah, I think I'm competitive and stubborn, and I just like to keep fit. And the thing is, like, cycling's also evolving. There's always some new, fun, exciting events, and I've been fortunate to kind of change my direction a little bit in the last few years. And I don't know, I get to ride my bikes, so can't complain.